Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go.
Alrighty then, it's the 7th day in the month of January, the first Friday in this new month, the new year. And we get a chance to start the weekend with you right here on The Bridge 99 FM to the world. This is Up and Go. I can report this morning that I did a little better than I did yesterday, as in fact I managed to get my son to school on time. And that in itself is quite an achievement. What that entailed was from 5:45, I started shouting in the house, "We're running late!" And as we got closer to the time of departure, I was getting louder, "We are late!" It worked. Yeah, so if that's what you got to do to get the kids going, do it. But one interesting thing I saw on my way to work, I saw a whole fleet of police vehicles and soldier lorries going in the direction where, like where DJ Audley lives, up in that direction. So I was about to say to them, "No, he's at the studio." They were traveling so fast. I didn't get it. I didn't.
Richie, you hear that?
Richie's laughing his head off across the glass. Disturbing news coming out of a compound town, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've heard it as yet. Several persons, we understand, including children, were reportedly shot and injured following a dispute at the annual Akampong Maroon Festival in St. Elizabeth late last evening into nighttime down there in Akampong. The police had issued a warning against staging the event, and it was in breach of the Disaster Risk Management Act, the DRMA. But from all indications, the chief, Richard Curry, went ahead with the festival, and he basically has been making statements to the effect that the ceremony will allow the Maroons to continue their spiritual and traditional rituals, just like their ancestors would have done back in the day. In fact, he's quoted as saying some days ago, "This is a religious duty of the Maroons to honor our ancestors and to show the way forward for the born and unborn. This is our way of life," Chief Curry stated. The Maroons are celebrating some 284 years of the signing of the peace treaty with the British government. So it's a disturbing story. We don't know the details of how many persons might have been injured, but based on what is being reported, the several persons, including children, we understand, were reportedly shot and injured after a dispute developed at the Akampong Maroon Festival in St. Elizabeth. So how do we proceed in this matter? We saw videos where the JCF were chased away from that territory some time ago. Does the police have the authority to go in and investigate, or will the Maroons themselves investigate themselves and come up with rulings and fines or punishment? I don't know. I really don't know exactly how it works, but it is a disturbing story that we're picking up, that we thought we'd share with you, of several persons being injured at this festival, including children. So we need to get more information, and we will as time progresses. Yesterday morning, we shared with you some information in relation to a few leaders of countries, governments, that are seemingly somewhat frustrated. And at the time, we mentioned Emmanuel Macron in France, and we also spoke about our own Prime Minister and the frustrations he was having with violence and crime in this country. There are many other leaders who are frustrated. If you checked out the message that was carried yesterday in the speech by the President of the United States of America, you'd also see that he's, even 1 year later after the insurrection, he's still frustrated by the actions that were taken a year ago. And yesterday he took the time President Biden, that is, to denounce former President Trump and his allies in forceful terms, saying that they had held a dagger at the throat of democracy. And right throughout the day, we understand that Congress hosted a number of remembrance events across the United States. There's also another leader of a government who is taking some very, very harsh action against dissenters. And this is quite troubling, as it has come to me that the president of Kazakhstan has ordered the security forces there to, listen this, to kill without warning in order to quell some violent protests. Yeah, this is another leader who is obviously frustrated. Seems like a lot of world leaders are frustrated right now. But look at the action that he's prepared to take. Kazakhstan's President Kassym-Jomart Tokayev has ordered security forces to kill without warning in order to crush the violent protests that have paralyzed the former Soviet Union, the former Soviet Republic, and has reportedly left dozens dead. In a defiant public address early this morning, the president of Kazakhstan said the unrest that began earlier this week as protests against rising fuel prices had been masterminded by well-trained terrorist bandits from both inside and outside the country. And as a result, he says he's taking action against these armed criminals. And they have already detained over 3,000 persons. But he says he wants to bring stability to his country, and he has introduced a state of emergency, which he says is yielding results. But terrorists, according to the president, continue to damage the state and private property and use weapons against citizens. So he says, and I quote, "I gave the order to law enforcement agencies and the army to open fire, to kill without warning." Can you believe that? It's happening right now in Kazakhstan, ladies and gentlemen. As it relates to the story coming out of a Kampong, St. Elizabeth, I can now tell you that all reports are suggesting that there were 6 people who were shot in a Kampong on Thursday night, that is last night. And further to what we said earlier, we are now reporting at least one of them has died. It's a serious matter. Police have in fact confirmed the shooting in the Maroon Village. We're now understanding that a 6-year-old boy as well as a 12-year-old boy were among those who were shot, and one of the victims has succumbed in hospital, according to the sources that we're picking up on. They're saying that an altercation developed at the event that was being held to commemorate the signing of a peace treaty between the Leeward or Western Maroons and the British colonizers 284 years ago. And I'm still wondering, though, with the autonomous situation that exists for the most part in the Maroon village, something like this, I'm trying to figure it out. How is it to be investigated? Like, do the police go in? Police obviously are getting reports, but did they show up? Did they make their presence felt? Are they allowed to? Would they have been allowed to? Were they allowed to? These are questions that we can't answer.
Well, the situation with that Richie is what is the status there? Meaning, in Maroon Town,
yeah.
Are they governed or are they ruled by?
They basically are an autonomous state. It's like a state within a state. That's what they would say. That and remember that we saw where the police were chased out of the area some time ago. Remember?
Right.
So
I remember that.
I don't know how. I mean, like, do they have bodies that will investigate and do a trial.
I believe so.
I don't know.
Yeah.
These are facts that we don't have, but it's not good news at all when we're hearing about children included in those victims of that shooting incident. If all these reports are in fact to be believed, the Pope is in the news. I don't know if it has escaped your notice, but the Pope came out recently and made some comments in relation to persons who are opting for pets over having children. And believe it or not, the Pope is calling on those individuals, those couples, he's saying that they're selfish. Yeah, I can imagine some people out there wide-eyed like, what? He said that? Yes, he did. And the Pope believes that couples who opt for pets over children are selfish and that they take away our humanity. That is what he says. Pope Francis has criticized couples who choose to have pets instead of children. He says that they're selfish and because of the decision to forego parenthood, which leads to a loss of humanity and is a detriment to civilization. That is what the Pope is saying. The Pope made the comments while speaking to a general audience about St. Joseph, Jesus' earthly father. So he was lauding Joseph's decision to bring up Jesus as among the highest forms of love. Then he kind of veered onto the topic of adoption and orphaned children today. And then he turned his focus on couples that opt for animals instead of children. He says, we see that people do not want to have children or just one and no more. And many, many couples do not have children because they do not want to, or they have just one, but they have 2 dogs, or they have 2 cats. Yes, dogs and cats take the place of children, the Pope said. He continued, yes, it's funny, I understand, but it's the reality. And this denial of fatherhood or motherhood diminishes us. It takes away our humanity. And in this way, civilization becomes aged and without humanity. Yes, that's what the Pope said.
Well,
that's what the Pope said. Yeah, that's what the Pope said. They're obviously, it's creating a firestorm.
Naturally, believe me.
Undoubtedly. And some of the comments we can't even repeat here, obviously, for obvious reasons. But people question things. Like I saw one person saying, hey, to what extent has he contributed? People are saying these kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but
somebody said, hey, how many children did he father?
But
he took an oath of celibacy, I suspect. So
but
that would not. Huh?
We don't know.
We don't really know, but I doubt that he would, because at that level you would have had to take an oath of celibacy, I suspect. But he's making those points in a forceful way, and he's not afraid of creating a little firestorm here and there. So, and we've got Red and we've got Jay, and we say good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
Cold. And that's not even a joke. Cold. It's like minus 15 degrees here. So we're like a whole, put it this way, 45 degrees Celsius cooler than you.
Yes.
OMG.
Yes.
Right?
I feel like I'm in heaven.
You should.
The only thing I can report is that there are slight drizzles in Kingston City. But temperature-wise, we are nowhere near where you are.
No,
So
it's
it
really cold.
must impact the way you dress. Look at what Red is wearing.
Well, I'm broadcasting from home, so the comfort of my red robe.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? Why am I gonna go dress up? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Why?
Why am I gonna do that to myself? You know, it's a morning show. I'm at home.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that, Jay? You've seen reports where people are like literally wearing literally their underwear. Men are wearing their underwear with like a dress shirt.
Yeah,
right?
the suit jacket, no pants underneath, because it holds you. It holds you. But I'm happy that we're all here together, from home to home to home.
Yeah, your dress code is a little different from hers, though, I suspect. Right, Jay?
Of course. I have to wear a sweatshirt every day. He
Yeah.
walks
He's in
and
the
sees
studio.
me. Yeah, he sees me in the studio every day with a tracksuit on, a sweat top on every day. This is the season until I come to join you out there in the hot sun.
And I noticed that black is your favorite color.
It's everybody's favorite color here.
In Toronto, it is. You have to have like 5 black sweatshirts, 5 black track pants. You gotta have them.
You got to remember where we're at. Like, you can't be coming in a neon yellow, you know what I mean? Top. Mind you, if it's a hoodie, it can go on, right, P?
Yes.
Right? We
for
can rock.
sure.
Yeah, like if it's a hoodie, well, you can't come in a summer wear. There's the winter white and then there's the white,
Okay.
So you got to make it appropriate. But we're trying to ting. So how's everything over there?
Everything is doing well, actually. We're doing all right this side of town. Good weather, good vibes, good energy, and good connections as we have right now. So we're looking forward to it. It's kind of different, isn't it? You guys would be looking forward to all kinds of different activities on a weekend, but it's not happening right now. Omicron is just taking over the place. I mean,
Right.
we have some serious numbers here in Jamaica. Let me just tell you quickly, the last that we have reported yesterday, we had 1,128 confirmed cases in 24 hours.
Wow.
That's what we're talking about. If you want to break down in terms of sex classification, there were 645 females and 476 males. Which parish are you connected with, Jay?
I'm connected with St. James, right in
St.
Mobay.
James. The numbers in St. James were 80. But
Okay.
that's a far cry from what happened in Kingston and St. Andrew, where we had 480 cases reported in 24 hours. Following that, next was St. Catherine with 211 cases, and then St. James would have been third with 80 cases. So we're having they're saying definitively that we're inside of the fourth wave right here in Jamaica right now.
Wow.
Yeah, we can't even keep up. Here, it's between 10,000 to 16,000. That is confirmed PCR test. But they're not even giving the PCR test. So the numbers, they're estimating about 40,000 in Ontario. I believe that because everybody I know didn't even get a PCR test. They had the rapid test. So I know the numbers are way, way higher. They're not even, you don't even need to get tested anymore. They just want you to stay home, stay safe. And apparently it's spreading like crazy. Like crazy.
Yeah.
So where's everybody getting this? At the party? What's going on, Richie?
Well, I don't know.
Christmas get-togethers? Get-togethers?
Yeah, I think we're seeing some of the impact of the activities of the Christmas Yuletide season, to be honest with you. That's my own layman's feeling on that.
Right. And then, of course, there's the new virus, Florona.
Yeah.
Have you heard about this, Jay? They're calling it Flow Rider.
Flow Rider.
Have you heard about it?
Every rapper and singer gets their name into this new variant.
Right?
But yes,
So
Florona is the flu mixed with Rona.
Omarion was affected because of
Right.
Omicron, and now
Right.
Florida because of Flurona.
Yes.
Right. But you know what? It's bringing them back. Hey, anything to be relevant. It works,
They should
right?
make a song together.
Yeah. So it's a combination of the influenza and the corona that they're calling it the Flurona. I understand it was first identified in Israel some days ago. And we haven't been hearing much more about it, though. Do you know whether or not it's been spreading quite a bit?
Yeah, we haven't really been hearing much about it. I don't even know how they're deciding that. Like when you do a test, it says COVID. So I guess how are they deciding what you have?
The ingredients. They're trying to figure out what the ingredients are. But
Right.
There are 4 cases in Miami right now.
Oh,
of flu.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
we don't have any reports on that this side, thankfully. Knock on wood.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, too, I know people who have had COVID last year in the summer, and then they got the Omicron. So it's kind of confusing. Is it the same virus? They said that it's kind of mutated, but it's just, I don't know. I know I don't want to get sick again. That's all I know. So
Well,
I will, yeah.
One thing is certain, our prayers worked because you might not know, Red, but Jay and myself, we prayed. And we prayed, and we prayed again for you and your family. So,
thank you.
Right,
It was
Jay?
a little scary. It's a little scary. No, but honestly, it's scary. I mean, last night my chest felt really tight, and I was like, okay, is this because asthma? You know, you start to worry, or is it because it's minus 15 and it's just dry in the house and I need to put a humidifier on?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, it's scary. You just don't know what, you know, and you hear so many bad stories, right?
Does it come with
I
a
know
lot
in
of pain?
Barbados, sorry?
Does it come with a lot of pain?
Yes, headache, really bad aches and pains, like a flu almost. But I know in Barbados, I believe a girl, 14 years old, passed away from COVID. They said she had underlying issues, but I'm like, you know, that it's crazy just to hear everybody in the Caribbean now going through this. Like, I think because, you know, they said that Corona doesn't like sunshine, doesn't like sunlight, the heat, it kills it. I was hopeful for everybody in the Caribbean, and hopefully it doesn't spread, you know?
Yeah, definitely so.
It's G98.7. Great music is what we do. Red and J Morning. We're bridging over to Jamaica. Bridge 99. Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Did he really kick the chair in the ring?
To the air? I just text Jay that I'm like, kick the chair to the air. Wow. To the rear or the air?
I think he said to the rear. Yeah, I suspect that. Let's hope he has a chair when he goes back to do the news next time round.
Exactly.
Don't make
That's
me.
Chris for
oh
you.
My
Morning,
goodness.
Chris. All right, it's
Yes,
6 minutes
good
after
morning,
9
Chris.
o'clock. Of course, we're live in Jamaica and we're live in the Greater Toronto area. Bridge 99 FM and, of course, G98.7, Red and J doing their thing from that end where it's rather cold. My goodness, minus 15 degrees.
So cold.
I don't even want to imagine that. Let's talk a little bit in our hot tea segment. The music's greatest night has been postponed. The Grammys will not be held on the date that was originally scheduled. I know that Drake and The Weeknd will not be affected because in any event they were not
Right.
they were not planning to be
They
there.
boycott it.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a
Right.
joke for that. I said Drake told Grammy to take their Grammy and Yami.
Oh my goodness.
And
I'm
when-
glad
and
you
when-
said it again.
When you add the Weeknd to that, it's like a double whammy.
I want to rhyme with y'all, but I got nothing for you. I got nothing.
A little of Jay's rubbing off, you
my
know what I mean?
goodness.
That was funny.
Right?
Yeah,
He does. He does.
but
You made it
Omicron-
funny. You made it funny, Richie.
Yes. Omicron is really taking a toll. I mean, imagine the Grammys. We've never seen that happening, not in years that they've had to postpone, certainly not for reasons like these. And now because of what's happening with the Omicron variant in the United States, they've had to postpone it.
Right.
Yeah.
Somehow I think, though, what you said is true. I think that Drake and The Weeknd, I think the Grammys, they need to, like, restructure, you know, maybe their actual, what do you call their panel or whoever sits, whoever the Grammys is. I think this is time for them to restructure.
Yeah, that's the
So I
recording
think they
recording
bow down.
academy. Yeah, the recording academy.
Right.
You think they need to restructure? What?
I do. I mean, for years, you know, they've got it wrong. Let's be real. They've got it wrong. And what happens at the Grammys affects radio. It affects everyone, right?
Yeah.
It affects the artists, definitely. So I think they're bowing out graciously. I think Omicron is part of the reason, but let's be real. They could throw it together if they really wanted to. So I think they know that they need some help, and maybe this is time to just
Introspection and reflection and reorganization, maybe. Well, and who knows? Maybe the Recording Academy or some of their representatives are listening, or even CBS, who are also their partners. This year,
Right.
to be honest with you, as far as the reggae category is concerned, I don't hear too many complaints. There have been some who feel that others should have been involved, like a Popcorn and even Alkaline for that matter, and a few other names that were put forward. But for the most part, people are thinking that this is it wasn't a bad choice for the best reggae album category. And interestingly enough, this week I had Gramps Morgan, who has a nomination with the album Positive Vibration. He was my guest on the program, and one of the things he mentioned was that I asked him, are you going to the ceremony? He says, oh yes, and he was making the point that more of the nominees should try to attend this event, and that was the very same afternoon after he left here. I think it was on Tuesday that the announcement came of the postponement. So I guess he'll have to just hold on to that outfit and keep it for another occasion.
I'm sure that's a good point that he made. You should really attend so that they know that you are there. You're not just a name. But what they do too, I believe, especially for the reggae category, tell me if I'm wrong, they have like a private little dinner thing. It's not even part of the big show. Either way, I'd go for the free meal and look cute. I mean, I'm saying. Right?
Why not?
Why not? Can't be mad at that.
There have been years when they have not gotten it right, not even near close by what many people in the reggae community would say. But all in all, this year wasn't too bad. So we see what happens. But we're waiting to hear when the new date will happen. That announcement, I suspect, will come sometime down the line. Time flies when we're having fun. Look at it. We just have a minute to go, and that's a sad part of this this feature. But I want to thank you.
Wait a minute, Richie.
Huh?
Richie, before you go, news is that you made the newspaper.
Oh, you heard about that?
Yes.
Way up there. Yes.
Way here in Toronto. I got word. We got word.
News certainly travels. Yeah, I've been getting messages all morning, so I decided during my busy show to just do a little bit of an investigation. And in the Gleaner newspaper today, they have an article entitled Top Entertainment Stories for 2021. And all kinds of different stories made the news. Coffee's in there. The death of Bunny Wailer, Scratch Perry. All of these stories are there. And then I see Richie B resigns from my former place of work. And that they have as one of the top entertainment stories for 2021, as courtesy of the Jamaica Gleaner. So it surprised the hell out of me when I heard that that made it. But the result is what you're hearing right now, because we left there to come here.
Hey!
Bridge.
And so we stepped onto the bridge, 99 FM, and we're loving it, thankfully. Yes. Yeah, news travels. That surprised me, Red. You're on top of your game.
We are. And we have a great producer, Perry, on, who lets us know what's going on. So thank you, and congrats to you, because if you weren't on Bridge 99, this link up would never have happened.
Not happening, so
you know?
It's positive, definitely.
Happy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, where can people find you?
Red in Dust City on IG. I will not be wearing my robe, just so you know.
Some people are going, uh-oh.
No, it's a fuzzy robe. It's a big old fuzzy robe. It's not, the sexy Victoria's Secret silk robe. It's not Jamaica.
We have transformed radio so they can listen and they can see. So many people are actually seeing you in that red robe right now.
Hey.
And for now, folks, you'll find me on Instagram as J Martin Comic, but hopefully you'll find me in a town near you soon.
All right. Cracking up the place and giving a lot of jokes. You can find me on Instagram at Richie B _up and go. Jay and Red, it was a pleasure once again. Have a great weekend. Continue your recovery, Red, and we catch up with you guys next week, God willing. Take care. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. All right. That was fun. We enjoyed that. Whatever floats your boat. You understand that Killer Boo is the man that is on location in the studio right now in New York City. Killer Boo!
Good morning, Richie. How you doing, sir?
Morning, sir. How you doing? I'm good. How about you?
I'm here, man. Just got finished shoveling some snow before I got into the studio, because guess what? We have a blanket of snow all across the tri-state area this morning, man.
Lord have mercy. Is it likely to go up by 2 or 3 inches?
I think it's about that right now, about 2 or 3 inches, to tell you the truth.
Jano Star.
Yeah, man. So
I'll have some sunshine.
At the first real snowfall we get for the winter so far.
Yeah. Well, so when you stepped into the studio, there was snow all over you?
No. There was snow all over me when I was shoveling the snow.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
but yeah, I got through it.
I was watching a very popular news portal this morning, and the presenter, that's before I came to work, he said that when he stepped into his studio, there's a lot of snow in his hair because he had to walk through some of that to get into the studio, I guess.
Okay, that might be true in some areas, you know,
Yeah.
and it depends on where you live. Some places in the Westchester County area and Mount Vernon and further going upstate New York, it might be a little bit worse than how it is in the city, you know. So, matter of fact, some schools are closed today.
Yeah.
In the Long Island area, you have a lot of schools that are closed, but in the city, the kids are very unlucky this morning because they might have to go into school.
God have mercy. The part that I really don't know how I'd manage, and that you mentioned earlier, that is shoveling the snow. That just looks like a very, very difficult,
Well,
difficult thing to do.
Here's what I've done over the years, Richie. I've invested. And when I say invested, I mean I have 4 sons at home.
Yeah, wow.
So I feel them time now.
Boys, get up.
Yeah, man.
Daddy has to leave in a half an hour.
Yeah, and because they didn't have school this morning, you know, they must sleep a little bit later. So
Yeah.
so I had to just run out and brush off the car real quick.
All right, cool. But you have you have some gadgets that you use to assist you in the process, right?
Yes, you use a shovel, you use a broom, you know, anything you want to use. I rather use to clean off the car, I use a broom and just sweep off all of the snow.
Okay. What about like the driveway now? I mean, do you like apply salt? I understand that also can help in the melting process.
Yes, that also helps, but you know, some people don't like putting salt on the concrete of them house, you know, because the salt sort of destroys the concrete after a while, you know. So some people just shovel and keep it moving.
Yeah, I've always said, you know, Killaboo, when our Jamaican family and friends, you know, go overseas and work through all of this kind of weather and so on, you can't grudge them. You have to understand that they put in a lot in order to achieve their success, and we have to be appreciative of that at all times.
True indeed.
Because we don't have those issues to deal with. You have to go to work and you have to go out there and shovel snow or clean off the vehicle in order to get out. Those are challenges that you have to overcome, and for that we say enough respect. Saying?
True indeed.
Yeah, man. I was making the point just before you joined me that apparently people have been saying that Shensia is sounding similar on many of her songs. And and she picked up on those comments and has responded, defending herself by saying, one thing you all can say is every song from Shensia sounds the same. Hashtag versatile. She posted on Twitter.
Okay, I want to tell you, so it might be a little bit reverse the way you said it, Richie, because I think she came out and said that first, that you know, all her songs don't sound the same. Then the fans came down on her. You know, they felt like she was shading Spice, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what's going on there with that new song, Dolly. A lot of people feel like she's shading Spice.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, she went on to say all her songs don't sound the same. Then the fans came at her like, look, maybe a song them do sound the same. You know, maybe as she point it out and then finally start look at it.
It backfired?
Yeah. You know, maybe she went ahead and said that, and then the fans them start saying, well, let's look into it.
Yeah.
You know?
So they started the comparisons and all that. I'm seeing a subheading in an article. I think it was one of those news portals that deals with entertainment news, saying Shensia claps back at critics, saying all her songs actually sound the same. And she
put out a video.
Yeah, she did?
Yeah, she put out a video after that on her social media singing to basically show that she is versatile.
Ah, okay, cool. We wish her well. Her song Dolly is doing very well in a short space of time.
Yes,
and you know how it is, controversy sells. So some of this is actually, in some instances, artists actually create the controversy in order to generate momentum with their products.
True indeed.
It's funny what happens in the entertainment fraternity sometimes. I know of instances where an artist back in the day might have gotten a publicist to write an article saying that there were 15,000 people who attended a concert where he or she performed. And then they repeat it so often that they actually start believing it, although they were there and experienced only 500 people.
But things like these do happen.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. Before I get into the music, this story about the pastor in church that remixed Bounty Killer's song.
Yes.
Have you been following that story?
I have been following it, and I've been seeing the post from Bounty Killer.
I thought it was. I don't think anything is wrong. I think a lot of people came down on the pastor was saying, if you take them song there and use in a church, and I mean he didn't use the original lyrics, but sometimes you have to meet people where they're at. And if you can relate to them by using something familiar, then I understand what the pastor did in using that song. Miss Ivy last song, big tune, and I love how the pastor remixed. The pastor sound like he was a DJ in his previous life. I don't know.
I give him more props for his lyrics than for his delivery.
Right.
But remember that what's her name had this big song. And there's a gospel artist that also Dovey Magnum, and you remember, what's his name? There's a gospel artist.
Jesus, I can't hold it.
Jesus, I can't hold it.
You name me a ball out,
right?
I remember that, but
these things are going to happen for a long time to come. Trust me.
Well,
I must tell you though,
we do. Go ahead.
I must tell you, the pastor surprised me.
True indeed. He definitely did. Surprised a lot of people in that church. I wish I could have seen everybody's faces without the mask, to see how everyone was actually responding. But, big up the pastor and big up the church.
Richie B, the party master, on Up and Go, The Bridge, 99 FM.